Well, thanks very much for inviting me to your conference. I'd love to be with you. Instead, at this very moment that you're watching it, I'm getting off a plane from Lagos. I decided to speak to you by video instead. There are three things that I really want to say. And the first is that what do NGOs really bring that is distinctive to development? And I think the answer is not first and foremost money. You do bring money, you raise it and you spend it, but there's a lot of money going into development. What's distinctive about you is your ability to build relatively small and innovative organizations. And so you're bringing organization design and variations in organization design combined with some money. Now, that's enormously important in the delivery of basic services, basic needs. Although the needs are simple, delivering them is quite complicated. Trying to solve the problems of motivating a workforce, of learning what people need even though they're not paying for the service, of responding to those needs and those changing needs, all that is a really difficult aspects of organization design. And NGOs, because you're small, you can innovate, you can experiment. The big public aid agencies are, if you like, they're dinosaurs. They've been around for a long time. They've, to some extent, ossified in bureaucratic modes. They find innovation, experiment, small scale, they find that really difficult. Also, they're an awful long way from the ground. They fly in at 30,000 feet. You're on the ground. So think of yourselves first and foremost as bringing skills in organization. Now, my second point is that different NGOs presumably have different skills and even different degrees of skill. It's unlikely that you're all equally efficient. And we need to tease that out. In effect, we need to simulate not just a learning process amongst NGOs, but a process of competition. If we were all engaged in market activities, and social services can't be engaged in market activities, but if we were engaged in market activities, the efficient would survive and expand, and the inefficient would contract. Because we're not in a market, that process of sort of selective efficiency doesn't happen, and we do need to simulate it. At the moment, the arena in which NGOs most surely compete is in raising money. But the people you raise money from are very poor judges of just how efficient you are. And so what I'd like to encourage you to do is to build common metrics by which you know your performance can be judged, in the sense of just how cost effective you are. For given qualities, how much does it cost? For given expenditures, how much does quality vary? And then learn from the best. I think that's a really valuable feature of having a lot of small NGOs. You can now simulate that competitive process without the aggression and expense that we'd find in the private sector itself. My final point, which is probably the most important, is that innovations in information technology make it increasingly easy to get regular and deep user feedback. In the end, the people who should be assessing your performance are certainly not people like me, not even people who give you money. and not nor just yourselves, nor just your peer group. They should be your users, the people that you're helping. And in the past, usually that's been only possible very fitfully. Occasional things like scorecards and that sort of thing, or very informal feedback. Let me make a suggestion that the big leap in information technology is the mobile phone and texting. Even in the poorest developing countries, most people now have mobile phones. Kenya is actually the world leader in mobile phone technology. It's leapfrogged. I've been working in Haiti, where there's a fabulous mobile phone company, which is indeed Irish. Mr. O'Brien runs it, and runs it very well, and is socially very concerned. He was with me in Davos, and he's clearly really committed to trying to help Haiti and beyond. Now, by harnessing those mobile phone networks, it should be possible to build regular routine feedback of users across all of the NGOs, which you can then use as benchmarking and comparison. I suggest you even approach Mr. O'Brien and say, is there any possibilities there? His company operates in many low-income countries. He's got a link up, I think, with Vodafone, and so could introduce you to many more. So that's my closing suggestion. Play to your strength of organizations which are small enough to innovate and which are close enough to users for it to be feasible to get a common set of feedback with which you can benchmark your performance. Thanks very much for inviting me to have my